G'day guys, PIGaming here. Today I have a review of a very special and very rare tank, the M4A2E4 Sherman. This is an American medium. It's currently available not in-game, but purchased for a limited time, I think a couple of months now, at worldoftanks.asia server. And to get it, you have to buy a package. You can only get it in a package. You can't buy it itself. You can't just buy it by itself, such as a tank like the Ram, the other medium American premium. You have to buy it in a package, and these packages currently are extremely, you could say, exclusive. It's $100+ to buy a package, and in that package you would get what you'd expect to receive, such as gold coins, premium. I think I got one of the cheapest. There's 3 different packages. I don't remember what they all are, but my package was for $119, and that was this tank plus 30,000 gold, which I've spent 15 or so on, or 11 on the FCM 50T, and the rest doing other things. So when I got this tank, or when I was looking at this tank, I was thinking, this is going to be a really fun tank. I'm going to enjoy it a lot. I'm going to be able to compare it to my Foch, and I love my Foch. You know, this is going to be a tank where you go up against tier 5s and 6s because it's got selective matchmaking. It's got very well sloped frontal armor, a few weak spots, and a very fast firing gun with a relatively low alpha. And I'm going to be able to brawl in this tank, and unfortunately that is not. I got a very unpleasant surprise. I haven't had many battles in it because I haven't enjoyed it. I've got probably 15 battles by now, and every game seems to be the same. It seems to be I'm one of the first tanks to go because I've only recently figured out how to properly use this tank, but that playstyle is not fun, and I'll get to that a bit later. So let's look at the stats of this tank. It has 480 hit points. That's good for a medium tank if it wasn't a premium tank. Now I will mention that this tank, it's very rare and exclusive because you could only get it if you played the beta, wherever you come from, different pronunciations, but the beta, and played 1,000 games in the beta, and you will receive this tank. A lot of people sold it, a lot of people kept it. I probably would have sold it myself if I did get the opportunity to get it, but I didn't, and now I do have it, but I'm not going to sell it because it was very hard to come by. But yes, this was a tank in game which you could only get previously if you played the beta, but now of course you can get it if you buy one of these very expensive packages, which a lot of people are not going to do. I've never ever seen this tank in game apart from mine, ever. Let's get back to the stats. So 480 hit points, that's good if it wasn't premium. Every other premium tank has 610 hit points. For example, the Ram, 610 hit points. If we look at other tech trees, German, the T25, 610 hit points. It goes on. Of course, French and Chinese do not have a tier 6 medium tank, but every other tank, tilde B, 610 hit points. I think you get it. So it's got relatively low hit points, which is surprising considering it's a very heavy medium tank, a tier 5 medium tank. So, yep, as I said, 32.15. It's a heavy tank. It's 32.15, well, for a medium. And it's quite a high-profile tank. It's not very long, but it is high-profile. That being said, it has a 420 horsepower engine, which gives this tank a pretty good power-to-weight ratio of 13.07. So again, when I got this tank, I thought, oh, I'll use it like my Foch. Fast, good frontal armor, high rate of fire, but no, it doesn't work like that. If you compare it to the Ram, the American tier 5 medium premium that you can buy in game, it's got a very good power to weight ratio, and that's 16.25. The reason I'm showing you the RAM and the M4A2E Sherman mainly is because the RAM is what I thought the M4A2E4 Sherman would be. Back to the M4A2E4 Sherman. It's got a very good speed, maximum speed limit. You'll reach that going downhill on flat, average about 30 kilometers per hour. Traverse speed 37 degrees per second. That's good. So this tank is pretty good frontal armor and pretty good traverse speed, pretty good power to weight ratio. So it's pretty maneuverable. I'd say it's above average maneuverability. I wouldn't go as far as say it was excellent maneuverability, but it is pretty good. So let's get to the full tank hull armor. So the hull armor on the front is good. 64 millimeters. That's good. And if you compare it to the M4, which is its non-premium brother, you'll see that it's got 51 hull armor, plus the armor is not very well sloped on the M4. Unfortunately, I haven't unlocked it. I have never thought about it. I haven't had any interest in the US tech tree. But you can see that it is an egg-shaped hull. It's not the same. This is very well sloped hull. You can see it's on a pretty good angle, say 50-degree angle, and you do get shots that bounce. When I was looking at this tank, I was thinking, it's called the M4A2E4 Sherman, and of course the tier 6 mediums, at least not the tier 6 mediums for the US M4A3E8, M4A3E2. So it's very similar naming. And I looked at the two tanks, and I saw which one was more common. And you'll see that, in fact, the M4A3E8 has incredibly similar armor. 63, 38, 38. In fact, exactly the same. It's just a slight design differences. So you've got the armor of a tier 6 medium. Not the M4A3E2. That's got very good armor, but the M4A3E8 has basically got the same hull as this. And the hull is not actually so fantastic. I often get shots at this because it can easily hit my modules. They're not small. They're big. 1, 2, 3. There's 3 of them, So you're going to get shots that go bang, 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 take out 2 crew members. Happens all the time. And if you shoot this tank at the sides, no problem, you'll go through. Try not to shoot here. This is spaced armor. But that's a very small target in the grand scheme of things. Just try and shoot at these spots. And there's not too much angling and sloping going on here. There's this little bit here. I have had a few bounces off that. People have been stupid enough to take shots at that. But yeah, if you're going to shoot at the sides of this tank, shoot here or even the turret. But I'll get to the turret a bit later. Shoot the back, you can shoot anywhere. Just don't shoot the tracks. That's a stupid thing. You go through there and your shells will get eaten up by the tracks, so don't do it. Let's get to the turret armor. The turret armor on this is pretty good. The gun mantlet is 76 millimeters. Don't shoot at the turret. You'll have more luck of penetrating this than you will the turret. Trust me. And the turret armor is actually better armored than the hull armor. So and that's very common with American tanks. So just try not to shoot the turret. It is a small target anyway. The body is quite big. I mean, you want to compare it to something like, I'm not going to compare it to the TOG, but my AMX-50B, it's pretty high profile. It's not a low tank. It's a pretty short tank in terms of distance from here to here, but it is quite a high profile tank. Now the gun. I was very disappointed when I compared this gun to the normal M4 gun. So this gun is called the Gun 75mm Gun N3. It's the same gun as the stock gun on the M4, and you'll see that it's not fantastic. It's really not. And it's only compatible with the premium, with this M4A2E4 Sherman and also the T14 Heavy Tier 5. So the gun, 75 caliber, that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. It's got an alright rate of fire. It's not alright, it's pretty good rate of fire. It's got pretty poor penetration though. You got basically with the standard shot, you'll do 92 penetration, and I often bounce on tanks tier 5, and average damage of 110. You'll see better guns on on other tanks. This is not a fantastic gun, and in fact, I mean, well, we'll just finish off these stats, I suppose. 0.46 accuracy, that's bad, that's very bad. This gun is not accurate. 2.1 second aiming time, that's pretty good. And a weight of 1,437. Now, if we compare this gun to, for instance, the M4's gun. Sorry, let's pull up this gun this way. It's a stock gun. It's a 75mm gun M3. Well, they should be the same gun, but they're not. It's slightly worse. Basically, the M4 stock gun has a higher rate of fire. So already you've got a gun that's not. It's basically a nerfed gun compared to the M4's stock gun. And so when I saw that, I was pretty shattered. I wasn't so happy because, you know, Wargaming. I know this is a rare and exclusive tank, but I mean, come on, Wargaming. I'm not happy with that. So that is the gun. Again, not so happy about that. It's probably the biggest letdown I think about this tank. And I think, you know, Wargaming has taken into that into consideration. This tank will only ever see a tier 5 and 6 game, but you know, most tier 6s I can't even penetrate with this gun, especially even, you know, mediums and heavies. I just cannot. This will shoot and bounce. So turret traverse speed 39 degrees per second. That's good. Now this is probably the best thing about this tank, and that is the view range. The view range is 370 meters, and that is very good. That is, you know, well, very good. The Ram has a signal range of 330 meters. I think the British had one of the highest, the Matilda BB, and that was 350 meters. So this tank has a good view range, and you'll spot tanks pretty easily. That's not a problem. And also the signal range is pretty good at 570 meters. The gun depression on this is good. I think it's 10 degrees down, and I'm not sure what the degrees is up, but it's pretty good. Yeah, I'm going to do rather than showing you guys a game that I've pre-recorded, I'm going to go straight into a game now, because I feel that, you know, well, from experience, every other game I've had has ended the same, and I've tried different things. Now this tank, as I previously stated, I thought was going to be like my Foch. It's not. It's more like the AMX 12T. It's a flanking tank. It's not good enough to go. I mean, this is a light tank, yes, but I can't. This is the kind of playstyle that this has is the exact same as this. It's not a brawling tank, which I thought it would be, and you have to go into flanking mode with this tank, which I'm very, very, very bad at. I cannot do that. I like to get right into the action immediately. I don't want to be left behind waiting at the back sniping. I'm just too impatient, which is a very bad thing. I get it. So yeah, I'm going to go straight into a game right now.